Hello everyone. The world enters a state where evil presences are making mayhem and divine beings plotting against one another. Until we meet Heron, a straightforward unfortunate digger who becomes mankind and divine beings' breath of trust. He learns about his personality and stirs his actual power, changing into a demigod. Heron is areas of strength for a young fellow who functions as an incredibly come up short on digger of metal. Generally, in light of the fact that he and his mom are abused by the town he lives in. He gets compensated less and less consistently for his work, regardless of not misunderstanding done anything, with the exception of being an offspring of an unmarried Lady Electra. He's caring and helps individuals out normally, however, rather than a thank you, he gets offended. He scratches by one day when devils are surrounding the town to change over the residents into evil presences. Individuals begin quickly making tracks when they see an Amazonian lady named Alexia running in with her crew. Heron hears the racket and goes to see Alexia, inquires as to whether he's seen any evil presences passing by, and runs off when Heron says no. They hear a moan from something, and Heron and another man go to look at it, figuring it very well may be a devil. Yet, they find an old alcoholic man he knows very well, Elias, who just broke his leg when he really wanted it the most. Heron takes Elias to his mom to help him while he gets some water for the alcoholic elderly person. While doing it, he sees a lady in a wellspring and goes to check. In the event that she wants assistance, he arrives and gets her fare to observe her innards spill into the water. He gets terrified and lets her go and gets looked by a devil. Interestingly, the evil presence attempts to suffocate him in the wellspring, yet he figures out how to start it off and battles it. The devil thumps him with a support point and he goes flying. Alexia rapidly shows up and wounds the evil spirit, however it doesn't pass on it, just angers it and battles her back. It overwhelms her and swings her into the design. Heron awakens and battles the devil with his firelight, thumping it into the water. Anyway, notwithstanding the agony, the evil presence actually figures out how to get up and get away. As individuals are beginning to get together to leave the business sectors, Alexia tracks down a dubious man and corners him. She captures him and ties him up on a point of support in the town. She enlightens individuals concerning the evil presences and how they can camouflage themselves as individuals. Heron and his mother return Elias to their home. There, Elias enlightens Heron regarding how the evil presences came to be after the Titans, where a man found the remaining parts of a Titan washed shorewards and ate its tissue to acquire its approval and acquire a bident he can toss and withdraw from any place. This man continued and made a faction of evil presences and presently firearms to change over everybody he meets or kill them. Before long, Alexia returns to Heron to enlighten him regarding a guide she found with the headings to a maze in Meladoni where the Titan's remaining parts are still there. She requests that Heron join her crew and battle to safeguard the town, however he declines since he actually detests all the abuse he got from similar individuals. He hustles home and packs along their assets to take off from the evil presences in the town with his mom. In any case, Electra stops him and requests that he rethink. A few men come to their home to test on the off chance that his mom is a devil by consuming her, yet Heron battles them. At the point when Electra sees his child being pounded, she stops them and consumes herself, demonstrating that she's not a devil and saving her child. Heron gets considerably angrier at individuals and the world for his issue and the absence of solidarity to successfully help it. Elias comes to him and advises him to go mine an extraordinary metal at the highest point of the mountain so he can utilize it to make him a strong sword. Heron advances toward the mountain, however nods off in the wake of taking some rest while getting over. He awakens from a fantasy about his mom as a sovereign who brought forth two young men of various dads. He proceeds with his excursion and arrives at the top. He mines the mineral as taught by Elias and gets back with it. While Elias is as yet making the sword, Heron gets some information about a seal he found in his fantasy and asks Elias. The elderly person clears up for him about his introduction to the world in Corinth and how the fantasy came to him because of the Lords of Dreams. Inevitably, he goes to defy his mom about his fantasy. Electra at last concedes to being a previous sovereign of Corinth and how it reached be she wound up poor and whipped. She educates Heron regarding his dad Zeus and how he's the person who assisted them with taking safe house in the town for security from Hera, Zeus' significant other. Heron gets some information about his twin sibling who's accepted to be dead. Lastly, figures out that Elias is Zeus. He goes outside to face Elias, yet doesn't find him there. He possibly finds the blade, which when he contacts it shines a dazzling blue. He dismisses it and discards it. Elias before long appears to Heron while he cleans up and he uncovers his actual self as Zeus. However, Heron advises him to disappear and stay away forever. Alexia comes pursuing right, being pursued by a three-headed canine Cerberus as the evil spirits figure out how to surround the town. The two of them quickly get away. Heron looks for his mom, who is in the town likewise searching for him, yet he doesn't see as her. He and Alexia keep on taking off, however Cerberus gets up to speed to them and assaults Heron. They fend it off. Alexia figures out how to twist one of the heads, which dials it back, permitting them to run further until they arrive at the doors of the town. They educate the leader regarding Alexia's crew about a mine passage that Heron has been making for a really long time. They could slither through it and move away from the devils. In spite of declining to pay attention to the ill-conceived fellow, the man rallies up the locals and leads them to the passage. As Heron goes around the town calling out for his mother, an evil presence on a sphinx at a far distance in the timberland tosses a lance at him. Yet, Zeus steps in and clairvoyantly cautions Heron about it. Heron avoids it yet gets cut when the devil recovers it. Zeus advises him to run, yet Heron shoots a bolt at the evil presence. The devil shoots back his lance and flies down to the spot to go after him at short proximity. He continues to go after Heron, however Heron can evade the assaults with the assistance of Zeus. The devil follows him as he continues to go after him. Heron sets oil ablaze to protect himself and move away from the evil presences. He gets outside and searches for his mom, yet can't view as her. He at long last takes cover behind a tree when the evil spirits keep accompanying Cerberus, while their chief meets the townspeople and requests Alexia, who was stowing away. He presents himself as Seraphim and kills one man in the gathering, since he's an honorable, to take care of his scorn for his uncle who killed his supportive mother. Seraphim requests that his men search for Alexia by her aroma. He then meets Electra, who was stowing away. Heron comes running as Seraphim attempts to kill Electra. He attempts to safeguard her, however Seraphim punches him. He attempts to battle, yet gets beat up. His mom attempts to creep to him laying on the ground. Be that as it may, Seraphim tosses his lance high up and it falls, cutting Electra. Heron yells in tears in the wake of watching his mom's final gasp and is removed. Elias grieves the demise of Electra, and when Alexia comes he tells her that the evil presences have removed Heron. After she leaves, Heron at last sees his mom in his fantasies before she gets over into the hidden world. She advises him to be solid and act naturally while he's in an enclosure watched by Cerberus with different men. They all get shipped by Seraphim's men. They arrive at their objective and get off their enclosures to walk like detainees being whipped by snappers, assuming they at any point talk. They get taken to ships that will ship them to their new home, assuming they at any point arrive. They enter the boats and begin paddling as they leave the spot alongside different hostages, two of whom Heron covertly converses with, Kofi and Evios. He concocts an arrangement to get away. At the point when the devil watches come in, Evios and Kofi create a commotion as they take keys, this being a specialty for Evios, a hoodlum. At the point when the watchmen aren't looking, they open their sleeves and unshackle themselves free and battle the gatekeepers. They assist different prisoners with liberating themselves, and they assume control over the boat and turn it around. Seraphim shows up as they get some expectation that they have succeeded. He gets onto the boat and uncovers the sword that Elias made for Heron. Hera had sent him to get it where Heron had tossed it so he can kill him, recover the cauldron of haziness, and kill Zeus. He moves toward the men on the boat. Heron doesn't hold back. He charges quickly at Seraphim. Yet, when Zeus sees this and sees that his child isn't prepared, he hits down the boat with lightning, halting the resulting battle. At the point when Seraphim gets up, he attempts to go after Heron once more, however Zeus doesn't let him. He strikes the ocean on various occasions, causing huge flows which separate the two men and annihilate the boat. Heron is at long last saved from Seraphim. He escapes the water, and Elias seems requesting that Heron assist him with settling this wreck. Heron will not help, however, when Elias says that he could assist him with killing Seraphim, he concurs. Elias advises Alexia, Kofi, and Evios to go to Melodone to get the Titan's remaining parts and consume them while he takes Heron to Olympus. He gets down on a griffin and gives it to Heron. He changes into a falcon and leads the way. Normally the divine beings reject Zeus' brilliant ill-conceived youngster. He just doesn't have the foggiest idea how to quit having them. However, Hermes goes to meet him as his stepbrother Apollo and Artemis follow behind as they are Zeus' other ill-conceived youngsters and connect with him. Hera before long seems irritated by Zeus' activities of bringing a human into their domain. Zeus apologizes for his bad behaviors of being untrustworthy to her and vows to change. Presently, where have we heard this previously? He requests her absolution and she acknowledges whether he kills Heron, however Zeus can't have it. She She and the wide range of various divine beings, including Hermes, who would especially not like to leave the spot and go to the hidden world where Gehenna acknowledges them to remove cover at the end of the day, stays from the matter. Zeus takes Heron to work on battling, and getting his heavenly power, he sets him in opposition to one of Hephaestus' machines. He makes an honest effort to confront it, yet every time it sends him flying with no scratch from him. Zeus comes and advises him to quit battling with outrage and quiet down, however he falls flat. He can't be quiet, he doesn't realize quiet, all he knows is outrage, and it powers him to battle. However, tragically for this situation, it's ending up purposeless. The following day he inquires as to why Zeus permits Seraphim to live, and Zeus uncovers to him that Seraphim is his twin stepbrother and that Electra wouldn't believe he should bite the dust. Heron holds to the incredible news from his dad. Regardless, he proceeds with his preparation and is at long last ready to notice his rival and finds a flimsy part and cuts it smoothly. He overcomes the robot and Zeus recognizes him. After Hermes illuminates Zeus about different divine beings in the hidden world, Heron gets a call from the Destinies. Zeus takes him to see the Destinies and he holds up outside while Heron goes inside alone. He gets into a room with strings of destiny and meets the three sisters who need to help him. He contacts his life string and sees his entire past from when he was brought into the world up to now. The Destinies inform him concerning a junction that he's coming to. At the point when he contacts it, he sees his companions in a difficult situation at Melodone. He inquires as to whether they'll pass on, however the Destinies don't respond to him. He surges outside to attempt to return to help them, regardless of Zeus saying he's not prepared at this point. He shows up at the Fields of the Dead at the maze of Melodone, where he saves his companions from a minotaur protecting the spot. They all head inside and explore the maze. They arrive where the Titan's remaining parts ought to be, nevertheless they don't track down them. Seraphim and his evil spirits show up and welcome them. Also, interestingly, Heron and Seraphim meet as siblings. Seraphim requests that he join the evil spirits to bring down the divine beings together, as they are the explanation they lost their mom. He gives him a final proposal to accompany him or against him. Heron conflicts with him and gets gone after immediately. The gathering takes off from the evil spirits. When the battle follows, Seraphim dispatches his lance, which makes the spot crash in and permits the gathering to escape while shedding Seraphim and his. While Zeus and Heron are as yet watching what's going on the ocean, Hermes seems to need to give Zeus a message from Hera. At the point when he draws nearer, Hermes wounds him in the neck. However, the genuine Hermes comes and kicks the other one, who uncovers herself to be Hera. She leaves while Zeus tumbles to the ground, draining to death. Zeus at last figures out how to stop his draining before he passes on and awakens to relax. Poseidon comes conveying Apollo, who was gone after by Ares. He lets them know that Hera has the cauldron and they need to track down it to send the Titans back to rest. Heron offers to assist search for itself, and they with starting their arrangement and get ready to fight. Apollo gives Heron a bow and a few bolts to safeguard himself, and at that moment when everybody is arranged, the Titans walk up to Olympus to confront the divine beings. Olympus goes after first, yet Heron mirrors their assaults back. They continue to go after as the Titans close by Hera assault back. Heron's gathering is shipped off search for the cauldron on the planet. After endlessly looking without much of any result, Heron at last understands that the cauldron is overhead. He flies there and finds the cauldron held up by Hera's powers. He shoots the crows and the cauldron falls and gets it, notwithstanding being pursued by Seraphim. He meets Seraphim and they start their own battle for the cauldron. Seraphim shoots Heron with his lance and makes his griffin tumble to the ground. Be that as it may, he clings to the Sphinx, yet Seraphim lets him go and takes the cauldron for himself. Seraphim begins to feel that he governs the world. He hovers above everything and the turmoil that is occurring, yet Kofi stirs things up around town into Heron's hands and bounces on him. He attempts to snatch him, however gets lost. He gets found out by the griffin. Alexia hops and cuts the Sphinx underneath, making it break down on the ground. Seraphim gets up and attempts to go after her. However, Heron shows up from up top and hops on him. Seraphim tosses his lance at him, yet he avoids it. He charges at him and punches him down. He keeps on punching him as recollections flood his brain and he sobs for his dead dad and mother. Seraphim at last blocks the smacks and cuts Heron directly upside the head and loses him aside. He snatches him by the neck and attempts to cut him with his lance. However, Heron stops it, not having any desire to get injured. He recalls Zeus advising him to try to avoid panicking. He quiets down and lets the lance cuts him. He pushes it through to wound Seraphim. Seraphim eliminates it and Heron goes to confront him. He opens his eyes, they gleam brilliantly, and he gathers lightning to strike Seraphim and kill him. A Goliath shows up from behind him and attempts to crush him, yet he recognizes the cauldron and conveys Seraphim there to seal it with his sibling spirit. The Titan spirits get withdrawn into the cauldron and they return to the obscurity, saving the world. Heron gets up the following morning and is welcomed by his relatives, who invite him appropriately into the family. Thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to Any Pluto.